Welcome to episode 201 of the Six Figure Product Business Podcast. I am excited about this episode. This is going to be another episode that isn't really business focused, but it's just a little bit of just sharing some things that I want to work on, both in my business but in personal life for the next year. So, my birthday is coming up on October 6th. So, it's this week, depending on when you're listening. It may have already passed, but it is Friday, October 6th. And the last couple years on my birthday, I've spent some time on my actual birthday just reflecting on goals, what I'm looking to do for the next year, what I want to change. And I really started this tradition in, I think it was 2019. So the year that I sold my product-based business, I then went through this just change in health and, I gave up alcohol for 6 months and I decided to start my current business. And I bought Amy Porterfield's Digital Course Academy because I wanted to create courses. And it was just this huge year of change for me. And that was the first year that on my birthday, I bought a new journal for myself and a new pen. And I just sat down at a really cute coffee shop. This was actually in San Diego. I went to San Diego for my birthday that year. And I just wrote out what I wanted the next year to look like, what were my goals and things like that. And sort of since then, I've just had that tradition now. So I've been doing it for a couple years now, and I really like it. I think on the new year or on your birthday, it's kind of a good time to just reflect on what do I want the next year to look like. And I've gone through this big change, I would say in the last few months in particular, where I'm really just thinking bigger with life, I think, and just what I want to do with my life a little bit more. So I am just going to dive into 6 specific things that I am bringing into the next year of life. And I wanted to share that with you. So the first one is thinking bigger. So think big is actually an Amazon leadership principle. Amazon has, I think it's 12 or 13 leadership principles that all the employees, everything that they do within their role in Amazon, it's within that parameter of these 13 leadership principles. And think big is one of them. And I think that's a really great thing to have in your business, in your life, etc. So for someone who is multi-passionate, you have lots of ideas, you might already be someone who thinks really big. But in Amazon, you can't come up with an idea and have it be some rinkety dink idea. It has to be something bigger. You have to think big. So I love this Amazon leadership principle. I think it's one of my favorites. And I'm kind of doing the same in my business right now. I have spent the last 7+ years being an entrepreneur. I've spent the last 3.5 years currently in my current business. And I am about to make a lot of changes, and you'll hear about these changes very soon. And I'm really excited about it. I've been craving this change. I've been craving not to do something different. That's not what I mean, just to change things. And I think for a really long time, I just wasn't thinking big enough. I was thinking too small. And I think it was maybe, and I'm going to talk about this next, but maybe 6 months ago, I came up with this new idea for a business. I'm going to talk about that next. But that kind of that prompted me to rethink a lot of things that I want to do. So I think just in general, one of the big themes that I really want my next year to be and look like is thinking bigger. So whatever that looks like, in personal life and business, etc. But I think for this one, mainly in business, I really want to I have a lot of ideas. I have an idea for a TV show, like a reality, not really a reality show. That's not the right word. I don't know. I have an idea for a TV show that I have reached out to one person to tell them about the idea. And they literally were like, I literally have the same idea and I already have a name for it. So that's something I want to explore. I have a book coming out. I want to focus a little bit more on PR and media and speaking speaking engagements and things like that. And then just within my own business, bigger, 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 bigger. Okay, number 2. Business diversification. So this is a huge one that I am embracing for this next year. So when I say business diversification, it really means a lot of things actually. Number one, I am starting a new business. I've talked about it a little bit on the podcast, maybe mentioned it, maybe I haven't, I have no idea. I've definitely shared a couple sneak peeks and behind the scenes on Instagram. So it must have been in May of this year. Was it in May? Yeah, it was in May of this year. I got this idea for actually let's backtrack. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. So I had someone on the podcast last year, Christine from the Magnolia Group. She helps people sell their business. So she's a business broker, but more of like a boutique one. She works a lot with females and she works a lot with e-commerce companies, subscription box companies, tech companies, brick and mortar. Actually, I think she works with everyone, but she's awesome. And she was on my podcast about a year ago. I think it was October 2022. We had this awesome conversation and I left that podcast recording. So if any of you don't know, I sold my first business, the Dapper Dog Box, in 2019. I sold it in February. Yeah, February of 2019. And that was huge for me. That's still, to be honest with you, my most proud accomplishment in my business for the last 7 years. I think my book coming out will be my next like proudest accomplishment. But selling my business was really the first one. And I left that podcast recording with Christine and just thought, oh my God, there's so much more. Again, the think big. There's so much more things I need to be doing. I want to acquire businesses. I want to help people start their product-based businesses. Like I have all these ideas for things, different things. And we had a conversation on the podcast about how, SaaS companies are selling for 10x their yearly profit. And like most product-based businesses, it kind of depends who you talk to, who you work with, et cetera. It could be like 1 to 3x your yearly profit. But SaaS or technology companies, if you develop an app or you develop something that people would use on a Shopify store, something like that, they're selling for 10x yearly profit. And the light bulbs blazed through my brain at that moment. And I left that podcast recording, just my mind was blown. I was like, okay, we got to do more things here. So that's been sitting with me for an entire year. May of 2023, the light bulb flashed into my brain while I was doing exercises. My ideas always come when I am exercising, walking outside with my dogs, or driving in my Jeep Wrangler with the top off. It has to be the top off because something about the wind, I don't know, it like brings clarity. So I got this idea for this SaaS company iPhone app situation. I'm not going to dive deep into this because this podcast recording has to be short. Today I'm doing a short episode. But anyway, regardless, I got this idea and it was like, I think this is my big idea. The businesses we start, I really firmly believe are stepping stones to the next big thing that we can do. Once you have one business, I think it's addicting and you're like, okay, I can do this. Let's do the next one. And this one's going to be bigger. So this is my big idea and I've started to work on it a little bit, but it needs my focus. It needs my focus. And so basically, I've decided that after October, after I launch my business book, I'm diving into this business. I'm taking a little bit of time, not time off. That's not really what I mean. I'm just taking some time off of doing some live programs and I'm just diving deep into this new business that I feel like could be a game changer for e-commerce. I feel like it could be a game changer for so many of you listening, and I'm really excited about it. So when I say business diversification is one of the things that I am bringing into the next year of my life, that's what I mean. I want to start this new business, and this is going to be the big business. It's not going to be, coaching programs. It's going to be technology, and that is how I see the future of what I do. I see myself doing more technology apps, SaaS companies, things like that, all within the e-commerce space, but less of some things that I have done to date. I'll say that. So I'm thrilled. I'm pumped. I want to get this up and running. I'm ready. So business diversification is like one of the number one things that I'm bringing into the next year. And then within business diversification, I'm launching my new book, Customer Obsession. It's coming out October 18th. This is something that I've been working on for a year and a half, and I'm super excited. I also know that this won't be the last book. I already have two ideas for other books, and I would do things a lot differently next time. I would get a proper book coach of some kind. I would get a better editor than I did with the first book. I would get some support with launching because it's a lot. And I struggled with this book so much. And I did the best I can. Sorry, I did the best I could with the book. And there's always room for improvement. And I'm such a believer of it doesn't have to be perfect, it has to be as good as it needs to be. And I felt after a year and a half of working on this book, it's as good as it needs to be, but I can always relaunch, what's it called? Like volume number two, not volume number two. I don't know. Like when you make edits to a book and then you launch it again, it's the same book. It's just like slightly different. So that's going to be a huge thing for me. I consider books as one of my new business goals, maybe less of some of the other things that I've done in the past and more books, more things that are on bigger platforms that can help people and impact people at an affordable cost. You can buy a book for 10, 15 bucks. You can learn a ton of information and then you can implement it in your business. So that's really what I want. I want to have more things like that and maybe less of some other things that I've been doing in my business for the last couple of years. Okay, number 3, outsourcing things that I don't like in my business. This is a huge thing that I've really leaned into this year, and I'm going to lean into it even more. So really continuing to think about what are the things I hate in my business? How do I get them out of my plate, out of my life, out of my eyesight? And just as an example for anyone listening here, outsourcing my email was a huge one for me. I started doing that, I don't know, a few months ago in 2023. I have a virtual assistant. Thanks, Rose. You're the best. Her name is Rose. And if you have emailed me you have a question on one of the programs, or you have trouble logging in, or you want to cancel your membership or whatever, you're dealing with Rose, not me. And that was very important for me this year that I had to get email off of my plate. It is just not, I love teaching email marketing. I love helping you create your automations and all that stuff. I do not like answering my own emails. I don't. Okay? Whatever. If you hate different things in your business, you like different things in your business. I did not like managing my inbox, so that I had to get rid of it. But first, you have to find someone you can trust. You have to find someone who knows what they're doing, and trust is a huge thing for me. And I know a lot of you listening are like, yeah, I don't trust someone managing my inbox. It doesn't mean you have to do that. It just means think about things that you don't like and how do you find someone else to do them for you. So outsourcing things I hate. I would say, I'm trying to think of other things I don't like in my business. Email was a huge one. And I'm just going to continue to like rethink what I don't like. There's a couple things that are coming to mind that I'm not going to share on here. But just continuing to think about things that I don't like to do. Instagram, like Rose also posts a lot of stuff for me on Instagram. You probably think I'm posting 700 times a day. Actually, a lot of it's her doing it for me, and I love her. Okay, number 4 is simplify. So simplify is going to be a huge thing for me. In the last 3.5 years, the amount of courses, programs, free downloads, workshops, master classes, boot camp programs that I have created, it is unreal. It is unreal the amount of stuff I have created in the last 3.5 years. And 95% of it I don't use, I don't sell. And I am officially, I'm going to say this on my podcast, I am officially burnt out from creating new stuff all the time. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. My brain is like, Carrie, we are done. We cannot create anything new. You're done. Take what you have and use it. That's it. So, and part of it is because I get bored easily. Part of it is that I've been on this journey to constantly figure out what I like, what I don't like, what I like teaching, what I like helping you with, and what I don't like helping you with. I don't like helping you with Instagram. If you notice, I on almost anything I have, including the podcast, I do not talk about how to grow on Instagram. That is something that I would rather punch myself in the face repeatedly than help you with. I don't want to do it. It doesn't mean I don't know how to. I grew my product based Instagram to 42,000 followers. I had a wildly loyal and engaged community and audience on there. And I had a ton of sales from Instagram, but I don't like to talk about Instagram. I don't like to teach it. Everything I teach is how to grow without Instagram. And that's what I like. And I think it's important that you know how to do that. So when I say simplify, basically what that means for me is it's going to be less offers. You're not going to see me offering all this craziness anymore. I have my Cultish product program, and I'm going to give you a couple hints on what changes you might be expecting. But there are going to be changes, including a new business name. So my business is changing. We're changing the name. We are changing the name of the podcast. So this actually could have been its own category for change, but I'm just putting it under simplify. We are, when I say we, it's just me, but I'm creating a different name for the business. I just bought the domain last week. I'm very excited about it. It makes total sense. Everything is clear. And I don't know why I didn't do this before, but that's okay. And this actually feeds into the think big and the business diversification. So I'm changing the business structure and name to a different name. It's not going to be my name. It's like a different business name. And I want the brand to be under this umbrella. So it'll have my courses and programs and, that kind of stuff, education. It will have my podcast. So everything is going to be the same name. And then my carriefits.com website is just going to be like a personal brand type of website where I can promote my book and, push that I want to do more speaking engagements and teach in your master classes and that kind of thing. So when I say simplify, I guess, this maybe doesn't fall under simplify, but that's okay. I'm just going to share with you. Yeah, we're making some changes. So less offers. Cultish product is my program I launched in February of 2022. I just love it so much. It lights me up. The people that I'm getting into the programs are just awesome. They're the people that I want to work with. I think the curriculum of the program is really, really important and valuable. So it's all about how do you get visibility and eyeballs and basically traffic for your business without social media? How do you get systems that you put in place so you get sales that come on autopilot? So not passive income, because I don't really like to use that word, but autopilot is a better word. It means similar things, but certain things that you can do in your business, strategies that you can put together, platforms that you can set up, they will get you sales on autopilot. And then the third part of the program is creating an impeccable customer experience. And so customer experience is really important, I think, as you try to grow your product-based business. So this is my program. I love it. We are in the second round right now. By the time this episode airs, I think we might have like 1 or 2 weeks left in the program, but we're making some changes to the program and I'm excited to share that soon. And it's going to just be a different structure and possibly just ever enrolling. So basically, instead of having these cohorts, I'm thinking of just having it be open, and I'm going to talk about that later. But basically, less offers, more focus on a couple core offers. For me, that's going to be the Cultish product program. It's going to be my email marketing template membership. And then I have my other membership, which is called E-commerce Society. And we're going to be making changes to that too, including the name. So I'll share more about that with you later. And that for a while is going to be it. I'm not planning on doing anything else. With that said, it is me and I can't help myself when I have a really good idea that I think will help people. I can't help but take action on it. So we may have something else coming out within the email marketing thing. And then maybe that we might have something like, how to start an affiliate program, kind of, I don't know, mini course or something. So I shouldn't say I'm never going to have anything new because that's not true. It's like impossible for me not to do that. But to be honest with you, in terms of main programs I offer, I'm not going to be adding anything new. And it's just going to be the 3 things that I just mentioned. And, in particular, I'm really wanting to grow the Cultish product program. That program just lights me up. That's my program. Of all the years I've created stuff, I think that for me is this special program that I'm really proud of. I spent so much time creating the material, the curriculum, and I just think it's, when implemented, it can be such an incredible program for you. So I'm excited about that. Okay, number 5. So we're moving on away from the business stuff. So just to summarize for you: number 1, think big. 2, business diversification. 3, outsourcing things I hate in my business. Number 4, simplifying my business and offers, and just restructuring my business so it actually is more simplified. Number 5, and this for me is a really important one: adventure and travel. So I just bought a camper, travel trailer, RV. I feel like there's so many effing names for campers. I kind of like to call it a camper because I think that's a cute name. And my favorite RV travel trailer brand is called Happier Camper. And I just think camper is a cute word, so I'm going to use the word camper. But essentially, something that you attach to your car and you tow it. And tow it? I don't know if that's the right word. Yeah, you tow it behind you. I don't know. I'm still learning these like RV words. Anyway, it has, a little refrigerator, it has a little bathroom, it has a bed, it has a table that converts into a bathroom. It's super cute. Its name is Daisy. I'm obsessed. I posted about it on my Instagram, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I also have a highlight on my Instagram called Daisy. So anyway, so we just got that a week ago. And the reason I got that is I've been wanting to get something that we can just explore: Pacific Northwest, Northern California, Montana, Idaho, all like the Pacific Northwest, West Coast, and then really anywhere else. Having a trailer in this part of the country, everybody has them. There's so many places to go. There's so many national parks, and I've really kind of fallen in love the last couple years with being outside, being more in nature, being surrounded by trees. Like I'm loving it. And if you asked me 4 years ago, hey, would you ever get a trailer and want to go in like national parks and go camping? I would have said, are you out of your damn mind? I like bougie. I like Airbnbs. I don't like sleeping on the ground. I like having a toilet that I can pee in because I pee like 700 times a day. So anyway, I'm super pumped about that. So I want more adventure and travel. On weekends, I want to go. I want to like hop in the car, bring the dogs, and go somewhere really fun and be able to stay over. So, and then of course, if you guys have followed me on the podcast or on my Instagram, I had this big bear trip to Alaska. And basically, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I booked this expensive trip to Alaska to go camping in bear country. So coastal brown bears, you think of them as grizzly bears. They're similar. Grizzly bear is just a type of, or like a subspecies of brown bear. And it's just called grizzly versus brown bear. Brown bear is on the coastal parts of Alaska mostly. They have a different diet, consists more of salmon, and so they're bigger. Grizzly bears are more inland. So you'll find grizzlies in Montana, Yellowstone, Yosemite, British Columbia, etc. So anyway, so I went on this bear camp through Natural Habitat Adventures. I have a podcast episode dedicated to it because it was literally this most perfect, magical, transformative trip of my entire life. And I've traveled a lot. I've been to 30 countries. I've been to a lot of places. But as an adult, and I would say in the last decade, that trip it was just this trip that like rewired my brain. It jump started my brain. It changed me. I will be forever changed after that trip. And I want to do more things like that. It doesn't mean I have to go on, a super expensive trip somewhere. It could be anything. But I want to do more cool trips. I want to do more trips that feel scary to me. And going to this bear camp surrounded by grizzly, brown bears, whatever, that can feel scary. I mean, for a lot of you, I got so many DMs from people being like, why on earth are you going to a place where bears live right there? Like, why would you do that? So anyway, that trip was just so amazing and magical, and I just want more of that. I want to spend money, resources, time, whatever, just doing fun adventures like that. And then the last thing, because I really have to wrap this up, just better self-care and health. So I talk about self-care not a lot actually, because I feel like I have really crappy self-care. I go through phases where I do certain things that are really positive for myself. Like I do almost every day. I will say a caveat, this past 2 weeks, I have not been doing dog walks because my dog hurt her leg. And then just with like my son and getting him for school in the morning and my husband's travel schedule, I just wasn't able to. So I just don't want to make it seem like I do this every day religiously. I pretty much do, but there are some times when I'm not able to do it in the morning, and if I can do it another part of the day, cool. But my dog walks to me are like my therapy. But I need to be better about other things too, just in general, like more exercise, better eating, less. I go through stages of like not drinking and then drinking again. I really love wine. It's not like I don't really drink anything else. I just love wine. I love champagne. I love red wine, and but sometimes I think you can just go overboard. But I also don't like not drinking at all. And I did that for 4 months recently, no drinking, and it was great. It's really good for me to have those breaks with alcohol, but I also don't like the idea of like you can't say yes. Do you know what I mean? I don't like that. So I like the option of it, but 95% of the time, no alcohol. So those are things that I really need to work on in terms of self-care. Just better eating. I need exercise. I think just working from home, I think you just can be sedentary. I don't know. So anyway, my friends, those are 6 things I am bringing into the next year of life. I'm excited. I'm really excited about the business stuff. I think it's just, I have so many good things coming. I'm truly, truly pumped. And I'm really excited about the adventure and travel, just, being able to spend more time with my son and, my husband, and going out together and just having fun, getting away from the phones, the tablets, the devices, television, Netflix. I mean, God, I spend so much time watching trashy shows on Netflix, okay? Like Love is Blind. Also, season 5 is so bad. I'm appalled. I am appalled at how bad season 5 is. Like, what is going on with the world? Okay. Anyway, so that's my point here is just bigger and better things for this year. And I'd really encourage you, when your birthday comes up, or even without your birthday, you don't have to wait for your birthday to do this, but always be thinking, what are new changes I want to bring into my life? It doesn't have to be your birthday, it doesn't have to be New Year's, but I would really invite you to think about the same kind of things. Make a list and then just try to come up with some action steps or things that you can basically keep yourself accountable. So if it's self-care and health, okay, I'm going to make a note to go to the gym 4 times per week. I'm going to make a note to go for dog walks 5 times per week. How are you going to do those things? You have to kind of have a goal, then come up with many steps to take towards that goal. And how do you hold yourself accountable? So things like that. All right, my friends, I hope you like this episode. I will be celebrating my birthday on Friday with my amazing brown bear cake topper from Avalon Sunshine. So thank you, Erica. Love you so much. You're amazing. And thank you for your beautiful cake toppers. Okay, bye guys. See you next week.